Design is supposed to be the original work that comes from creativity, and creativity is inherently human. AI doesn't have this. All it can do is gather from what already is and mash it all together. And the argument of some is that just like designers, AI is using references, it's just faster. But if couture celebrates artistry and technique, can AI designs really be considered couture? But before we get into that, I'm Isabel. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because if you're into fashion and internet culture, this channel might be just for you. So let's get into it. We have AI models, influencers, our first AI couture show, and even AI Fashion Week. Now, AI Fashion Week is not super popular yet, but seeing AI showing up in all aspects of fashion recently, I would not be surprised if it started gaining traction. Art is one of the most human things there is. You can connect with others by expressing yourself through art. So will AI ever reach a point where it can fabricate this kind of connection and convey emotion? And if people feel moved by something made by AI, does that now legitimize the thing that AI made? The world has seen its first AI couture show. Couture is one of the ultimate expressions of fashion. Made from data but make it fashion said it best. Couture refers to the rarefied practice of handmade, made-to-measure garments that take thousands of hours and often tens of thousands of dollars to make. Everything is hand-sewn, hand-embroidered, and crafted using techniques mastered by only around 2,000 people worldwide. The very essence of couture comes from years of mastery and human creativity. AI cuts through all of that. It almost feels like a shortcut when that is the opposite of what couture is about. And in the world of luxury, cutting corners feels cheap. It's diluting an art form that celebrates highly intricate creations that are ultimately supposed to be showcased as a real garment that is displayed on a real body. So if couture is made to measure, it needs a physical garment to be made and a physical body to be measured too, which basically removes material reality from fashion. And some argue that this is a medium to use when the designs you have in mind are impossible to make in real life. But what makes fashion weeks and particularly couture so impressive is that designers come up with designs that are already difficult to make. They have to conceptualize a garment that is beautiful and pushes the boundaries of creativity while still being able to produce it physically. There are constraints around that: cost, gravity, fabrics, real life materials that have real life limitations. And a part of the art is to work around these limitations to make the vision come to life. And one of my favorite examples of this is Iris Van Herpen. And I have yet to see an AI design that looks better than what she has been able to create in real life. So AI Fashion Weeks now become illustration and not a presentation of finished garments, which is the whole point of Fashion Week. So now that generative AI has been expanding in fashion at lightning speed, it already feels like a shortcut or the dilution of the art. And as we see more of this, we could come to a point where AI becomes normal and human-made is a new luxury. Similar to the essence of something that is handmade. It feels exclusive and finite because handmade takes longer to make and requires attention to detail. AI, on the other hand, feels a lot cheaper because it is faster and easier to build. As a society, we still value effort, and not in an empty or hustle culture type of way, but consistent intentional effort to master a particular skill. The act of taking the time to become great at something is still very valuable, and this will be the new sign of luxury, which is technically already embedded in the definition of couture, but it will be even more apparent in a world with generative AI. Luxury brands are supposed to spearhead taste, but if they are using AI to design and AI can only gather, then they are no longer tastemakers. Art created by people will feel more luxurious than designs made by AI, because couture is about the process, a process that requires people with very specialized skills. So, controversial question today. Do you think AI will ever get to a point where we'll create art that people can actually genuinely connect with? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you're into fashion history, brand deep dives, or just random commentary, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. See you next time. Bye.